Hello, everyone. This is Ourvoice 360, Episode 1, The Genesis. Hey, I'm your host, Chad Bumgarner, and Ourvoice 360 is a podcast from our perspective, providing inspiration, business and leadership tips, Black history knowledge, sports, current news events, and self-help insight, along with other information to keep you in the know while you're on the go. Today, we'll kick off the show with a little motivation and inspiration from none other than Mike Brown. Right after that, we'll get some great business and leadership tips and insight from the leadership coach himself, me, Chad Bumgarner. Then we'll switch gears a bit and get educated on who we are when Mike Brown comes back to us with some Black history pearls of knowledge of self. Next up, we'll get our sports commentary and updates with our sports guru, Pete Hunt. Following Pete will be the brilliant and talented news reporter, Chestnut-Fountain, with our current news events information. And rounding out the show will be our main man, Ivan Hunt, with his very own segment, Keep It Moving, showing us how to overcome any obstacles we face in order to gain success in life. Okay, are you ready?
Let's go! I'd like to welcome everyone to Ourvoice 360. Listen, it doesn't matter what religion you choose to use or associate yourself with, even if you don't associate yourself with a religion. The constant in life is this: you always seem to reap what you sow. So why not sow good seeds? You know what I'm saying? Why not put good things in the atmosphere so that you can receive good things coming back to you? You know what I mean? You don't have to go through life struggling. Learn to pay it forward and watch how blessed you'll be. Because it will also get paid forward back to you by someone else. All right? Y'all know how we get this thing in, baby. Ourvoice 360. We stay telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. We gotta uplift, man. All right? I'm out. Peace. In 2006, my life took a devastating turn. It was at that time I truly understood what it meant to have a visual legacy to tell my story for generations to come. Allow Elect Graphics and Photography the honor of helping you and your family capture those timeless moments. We can be reached at 828-855-3057. God bless.
You're listening to the Ourvoice 360 podcast, our perspectives from our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. Hey everyone, this is Chad Bumgarner with another edition of The Intentional Leader. Today we're talking about the Courtyard by Marriott and the millennials working together to redefine work and success. The Courtyard by Marriott is launching a new campaign focusing on the passions and lifestyle of its millennial guests rather than highlighting, the services that they provide. Now, the latest 60-second TV ad features a young woman traveling to exotic places all over the world. In one scene, she's even shown interacting with weavers and purchasing, fabric at a fabric store. All the while, of course, staying in various Courtyard hotels. Now, the more memorable moment of this ad is her father narrating it. Now, to paraphrase, he reminisced about her obviously just graduating college because she asks him, "What now, Dad?" He then tells her to, go find a job, clock in every day and work hard and keep doing that. Later, he notes that she didn't even listen to him, and instead, she showed him another way. She went after her passion and never focused on climbing corporate ladders. He later says he's so proud of her, and when she has kids, to tell them to do what they're passionate about as well. So now the ad wraps up by saying, passion moves us forward. It's how you think. It's how we think. Now, Courtyard is looking at next generation of guests, millennials, and those who share their ideology as trailblazers who are transforming societal shifts in what they believe success looks like. It's no longer working that corporate ladder or solely financial gain. Look, guys, millennials are cut from a different cloth, okay? They're motivated by causes, okay? They're motivated by passions. What's the bigger picture? Money's no longer a large part of motivation. These guys work for change, not titles. So as leaders out there today in positions of influence, whether you're a manager, C-level executive, supervisor, whatever the case is, us Gen Xers and baby boomers, people who are about to retire and the people who are under the ones who are about to retire, we're the ones that have to look at this new generation coming out, and we've got to align with them to tap into this great and awesome talent if we want the lifeblood of our organizations to continue to thrive and grow. We've got to take a different look at how we make our pitch, to these young kids coming in. So we understand now that these millennials, they are passionate people. They are about doing and working on things or causes that are bigger than them. It's their why. What makes them get up in the morning? What pushes them to go day in and day out? And that's what we have to go back to. So now it's about going back to our mission statements for the companies and the organizations that we work for. Why is it that we do what we do? What's the why behind putting this company together, or the purpose on bringing this company into existence? Why do we do what we do? And that's the pitch that we have to pitch to these young millennials. We have to make sure that our alignment is the same as theirs. In other words, that our why, our passions align with their passion and their causes. Remember, for them, it's about something bigger than them. So that's the pitch that we have to give them in order to pull in the talent that we need so that our companies can continue to thrive. Because if we don't, and we decide to stay in our same model and not grow and look at these guys and try to work with them, we will be a fossil standing still in time in this competitive world that we live in. You cannot afford to do that. So we have to look at these millennials, and we have to understand how they think and what they want. And we need to make sure that our pitch and how we are able to tap into that talent is the correct way. And the correct way is passion. So we need to express passion in why we do what we do and how we do what we do. Okay? Well, that's it for me. This has been another edition of The Intentional Leader. To find out more about me and what I do, please visit my website at www.chadbumgarner.co. You can also hit me on Twitter, as well as check out the video versions of these podcasts on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ourvoice 360. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading? Attrition for companies has always been expensive, and the cost of losing good workers is rising. The Society for Human Resource Management predicts an overall turnover rate to be close to 19%. Here at the CDB Consulting Group, we can create a plan to help minimize the risk of losing good people, therefore keeping your company on the competitive edge. Contact us today at www.chadbumgarner.co or at 678-571-2773. Remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
Today we'll be learning about and speaking on the late Dr. Cornelius Golightly. Dr. Cornelius Golightly was one of the 20th century's most prominent public intellectuals who also amassed a series of firsts over the course of his life. Dr. Golightly was born in 1917 in Waterford, Mississippi. He entered Alabama's Talladega College at 17 and became something of an academic superstar early on. He was one of a handful of black students in 1938 who participated in the New Honor Society's Intellectual Olympics and was the object of glowing praise. After Talladega, Golightly entered the University of Michigan to earn his bachelor's and PhD in philosophy and promptly went into academics, teaching at Howard University, briefly before he moved to Ourvoice College in Michigan. He became the school's first black philosopher to join the faculty. Adding to his achievements, Golightly, who became involved in civil rights, was the first black person to win a citywide election to the Milwaukee School Board in 1961. In 1969, he became the first black philosophy professor at Wayne State University. And in 1973, Golightly became the first black president of the Detroit Board of Education. It was during the height of his tenure with the Detroit Board that Golightly got involved in the issues of school integration and busing, causes that were dear to him. However, Golightly suffered a brain hemorrhage and he died in 1976 at the age of 58. Reportedly, the family donated his body to the University of Michigan. In 1982, Detroit Public Schools opened the Golightly Career and Technical Institute in his honor. As I come to you and enlighten you guys on little-known Black history facts, just know that we come from a race of intellectuals, professionals, and go-getters. This is M. Brown, Elect Graphics and Photography. Ourvoice 360.
You're listening to the Ourvoice 360 podcast, our perspectives from our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go.
What's good, family? Welcome to the Sports Chronicles. I'm your host, Pete Hunt. Now that we have the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers ready to face each other in the NBA Finals, people are bringing back the discussion of who is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Whether you hear it on TV, at the barbershop, or at your family reunion, the discussion of who is the GOAT remains an open-ended question. Most people will say that it's Jordan, and now with LeBron making his 8th consecutive finals appearance, in more people's eyes more than ever, he has become the GOAT. But I'm not going to compare these two at all. I'm going to discuss who I feel is the real GOAT. That would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Until recently, Kareem was not even in most people's discussion as greatest of all time. But here are my reasons for Kareem being the GOAT. First, let's go to Kareem's high school years. He attended Powell Memorial Academy in New York. He led Powell to 3 straight New York City Catholic championships and a 71-game win streak during that time. He then attended UCLA under head coach John Wooden, where he won 3 national titles. And the reason he didn't win 4 straight was because of the NCAA rules that prohibited freshmen from playing varsity basketball. After a stellar college career, he was just as dominant on the NBA level. Upon Kareem's retirement, he led and still leads the NBA in all-time scoring. He is 3rd in rebounds and 3rd in block shots. Kareem is a 6-time NBA champion and a NBA record 6-time MVP, and also a 19-time All-Star. And who can forget the most unguardable shot in basketball history, the skyhook? So when you're in a debate about who is the NBA greatest of all time, don't forget about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Thank you for listening to the Sports Chronicles, exclusively on Ourvoice 360.
The FPC channel, hosted by yours truly, Ventress Chestnut-Fountain, can be seen on any streaming device on your televisions. You can even watch from your phones on any social media platform. News, weather, and entertainment featuring some of today's biggest celebrity interviews. You don't want to miss out? You could also have your own TV show produced by Ventress Productions and Communications LLC to expand your brand or business and get your content seen. Call 828-261-6122 or visit thefpcchannel.com for more information. You're listening to Ourvoice 360, our perspectives, our way. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. I'm Ventress, the founder and host of the FPC channel, also reporting news weeknights for WHKY TV and producing. Each week I'll be giving you the latest news in our community, Black history, entertainment, and the moves we are making daily. I always like to start off with a segment called We Do It Big. Stacey Abrams made history on May 22nd when she became the first Black woman to win the Georgia Democratic primary. Now she will attempt to become the country's first Black female governor. The source on that is Essence. She could also be Georgia's first female governor if she wins the November election in the predominantly Republican state. On May 20th in Las Vegas, Janet Jackson was honored with the Icon Award at the Billboard Music Awards. Jackson also performed during the TV awards show, which was her first televised performance in 9 years. It was a career-affirming moment for the 52-year-old star who has racked up an astonishing number of hits over her decades-long career. She became the first black woman to receive that award, so big ups to Janet Jackson for that. A hip-hop producer is getting kids physically active with fitness-inspired music. According to BlackNews.com, made for children ages 4 to 11, Carl Gaden Lewis, who is a veteran music producer, has created fitness fun to inspire, motivate, entertain, and inform kids through music and exercise. The songs are about the importance of daily physical activity, good nutrition, bullying, and more. A black entrepreneur has just signed a major deal with Sam's Clubs to take her family tea recipe nationwide. Nyla Ellis Brown, the maker of Ellis Island Tea, is the only female African-American beverage maker in the U.S. with her own manufacturing plant. Her family recipe for Jamaican sweet tea can now be found in the coolers of every Sam's Club location in the country. The Detroit native started her handcrafted tea business at the young age of 20. Daryl Landon Kelly, a 24-year-old African-American from Cincinnati, Ohio, has proven his black excellence after graduating with 2 advanced degrees, 1 master's degree, and another law degree on the same day, but from 2 different colleges. On Saturday, May 12th, Kelly received an MBA from Xavier University's Williams College of Business, as well as a law degree from the University of Cincinnati College of Law. Congratulations to him. And of course, the Obamas are still doing amazing things. President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama have sealed a deal with Netflix. On Monday, May 21st, Netflix announced through Twitter confirming that the couple entered into a multi-year agreement to produce films and series for Netflix, potentially including scripted series, unscripted series, docu-series, documentaries, and features through their new entity, Higher Ground Productions. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. I always like to end off with a bit of our history, so here's a quick glimpse of some of what went on this week in Black history. On May 28, 1863, the most notable African-American regiment of the Civil War, the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, left Boston for combat. Colonel Robert Shaw was selected as the head of the infantry and organized a group made of freed or escaped slaves. On May 29, 1851, abolitionist and women's rights activist Sojourner Truth addressed the Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio with her "Ain't I a Woman" speech.
Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman?
Truth, who escaped from slavery in 1826, went on to be acclaimed for her oratories about racial equality. In her "Ain't I a Woman" speech, Truth spoke extemporaneously on the rights of African Americans and women during and after the Civil War. On May 30th, 1943, civil rights activist James Chaney was born in Meridian, Mississippi. His life was cut short in 1964 at the age of 21 when he and 2 other activists were murdered by Ku Klux Klansmen near the town of Philadelphia, Mississippi. The 3 men were in the area to investigate the burning of a local church by white supremacists and increased African American voter registration in Mississippi. As they drove home, they were confronted by a mob of Klansmen who took them to a remote location where they were shot dead. Their bodies were discovered in a ditch 44 days later. On May 31st, 1921, the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma erupted into the most destructive race riot the country has ever experienced. Violence broke out after angry mobs of whites called for the lynching of 19-year-old Dick Rowland after he was wrongly accused of raping white elevator attendant Sarah Page. And finally, on this day in Black history, June 1st, 1920, William Edward Burghardt, aka W.E.B. Du Bois, was awarded the NAACP Spingarn Medal for his work founding the Pan-African Congress, a series of gatherings aimed at addressing the issues facing Africa as a result of European colonization. As a scholar, author, and activist, Du Bois worked tirelessly to advance the station of African Americans and other people of African descent around the world. Du Bois played a pivotal role in the founding of the NAACP and served as editor of the NAACP's newspaper, The Crisis, until 1934. I got a chance to interview Winston Duke, a star in Black Panther as M'Baku. We talked about the film's success and the DVD Blu-ray release. Here's a quick snippet.
My favorite part, one of my favorite parts, was when, they were in the fight scene, and then out of nowhere, everything was, chaotic, and then Jabari Cox comes to the rescue during the fight scene for the end of the movie. Who came up with the idea for the sound that the tribe makes? Was that a part of the script? Did you guys kind of incorporate that into it, or?
It was myself along with the speech and dialect coach Beth McGuire. Ryan Coogler wanted us to come up with a call and response nature for the Jabari tribe.
Be sure to watch the FPC channel to check out the full interview. That's my time. Keep it locked because up next is certified life coach Ivan Hunt with Keep It Moving. You're listening to Ourvoice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Way. I'm Pinterest. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Ourvoice 360 podcast, our perspectives from our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go.
Hey, it's me, Ivan Hunt, the host of Keep It Moving, coming live to you from Miami, Florida. My guest today is none other than Bridget Simmons. Bridget, the Go Coach.
Hey.
So, Bridget, this is the post wrap-up show. We just had our interview. So if you're interested in hearing the first part of the interview, go to ctrnetwork.com/Ivan Hunt, or you can go to ivanhunt.com, /keep it moving. So, Bridget, what is the best thing that you like about coaching?
Oh my gosh. So many things. You want me to pick one thing?
No, pick three. How about that?
Well, first I want to say I only have one earring in because the other earring was hitting the microphone. So just in case your viewers are ladies and they were wondering, oh my gosh, she has one earring. That's why.
Wow. Wow. You just said a lot.
Important things. So the top three things I love about coaching is I love to experience people in their moments of transformation. That is the most juiciest, fantastic experience that I think outside of being born that anyone can ever have. It is like a rebirth of that person. And that is the most fantastic, spectacular thing. The second thing I love about it is that it allows me to live the life that I love to live, which is a life of true freedom. Like, for example, this week I live in Tampa, Florida, and a friend is here in Phoenix, and I wanted to come, so I came. So I can really work and be anywhere that I want to be, which is pretty awesome. And the third thing I love about coaching is that it's just natural to me to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And that it's the coolest thing to me that all of us have that ability to do something that comes so natural to us.
I want to share a story with my listeners and viewers about Bridget and what she said regarding that transformational moment. So the first weekend of our first module, the first day, I'm typically an introvert, and I shy away with people, have a tendency to fall back and fade to black. And I let it be known the first day of the module. The third day, I had started my tendency. I started drifting towards the back of the class, away from everybody. And obviously, Bridget picked up on it. And so the question came up about, how do you become a networker? How do you improve in networking if you're an introvert? She said, oh, great, come on up to the front. And I was like, oh, man, here we go. And, she walked me through a process that really, really identified a lot of things that I had held inside for a long time. A lot of insecurities, a lot of doubts, a lot of self-depreciation and self-judgment towards myself. And so if you ever seen one of those conferences like Tony Robbins and you see that person that's up there crying their little eyes out, that was me. that I'll never forget Bridget just for that moment. What do you like about teaching coaching?
Oh gosh. Because the top three things I just named about coaching that I love, that human transformation, the ability to have a life that is free, and the fact that it comes naturally to some, the fact that there's more people like me that have that ability, and being able to multiply that number of people to be deployed onto this earth to serve humanity, is the most amazing and powerful gift that I get in teaching other people how to do this thing called coaching. Particularly because of the world that we live in right now, we are going through a planetary transformation where a lot of things are coming to a head. Racial inequality, and where it's been in the United States for so long. Gun violence, not only in schools, but among people. I mean, yesterday with the YouTube domestic dispute where it was brought to work, people are angry, people are committing suicide at high rates, children. We're in a place and space in time where the beauty and the power of coaching, of people connecting with other people in order to get them to tap into the heart of themselves and to remember who they are and how powerful they are, is paramount in the times we live in. So being able to impart how to do that in the most powerful, constructive way to other people who desire to do that is a great gift.
And I'm kind of glad you brought up the racial environment a little bit. You know, this part of the show is a little bit more freewheeling. You know, I try to be respectful of the network. What if you were to coach someone that was biased towards a particular race? How would you coach that person?
Well, first, it would depend on what they wanted to be coached about. If they wanted to be coached around the bias to change, is that what you're after, maybe?
Let's say they don't want to change. So I just say point blank. Let's say it's Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see. This is a challenging question, Ivan.
It is.
As you know, with coaching, as a coach, I hold my client's agenda. That's the client's agenda. My agenda has nothing to do with it. Okay. So if it was Donald Trump and he wanted to be coached, my first question would be, what do you want to be coached around? So I'm going to play with your question around racial bias. And let's just say that Donald Trump called me to coach him because he was reading in headlines how he's racially biased and he doesn't want to be seen that way anymore.
Okay.
Let's just play with that.
Okay.
So let's say that he called me and I said, wow, okay, Trump.
That's a shock just beginning.
Yeah, like, all right, let's do this. So you read the headlines that you don't want to be seen like that anymore. I would ask questions around, okay, well, how do you want to be seen? And if we're going to continue with this fantasy, and he said, well, I want to be seen that I don't have that bias. Then I would dig into, okay, where do you think that comes from? Because the truth of the matter is all of us humans, Donald Trump included, have a way that we see the world. Right. And the way that we see the world is built on our socialization. And if we're socialized and we're surrounded by people who have certain views around other groups of people that look a certain way, then it's no surprise that we're going to feel that way around other people or about other people. Now, if you want to change that, then I would really explore, what way do you wish to be seen? And if you wish to be seen in a different way, then who do you need to become in order to be seen in that way? What characteristics would you embody? And I would work with that person to help them embody those characteristics.
So I hear a lot of visionary work. Like I see, you know, when I'm watching you, it seems like you're creating this picture visually as to, you know, to try to plant that seed of vision in that person's head. What tools then, we'll skip Donald Trump. I'm not going to spend that much time on him on my show, but that's the beauty of it. It's I can do what I want.
You can do what you want to do.
That's my freedom.
Your thing.
You know, I think a lot of times people in the process of change, right, they struggle with the vision. They have the fortitude, they have the drive, but maybe the clarity around the vision. You know, so what tools do you use or offer to clients to help them to visualize, you know, where they are to where they want to be and go?
Great question. So as you correctly stated, that vision is something that's at the center of a lot of my coaching, because what vision is, or images, I should say, images are the language of the subconscious. This is why, yeah, absolutely. Images are the language of the subconscious. This is why advertisements advertising is $1 billion industry. It's because these companies, if they put an image in front of us humans, it is speaking to subconscious and it is telling our subconscious a story. In fact, I'm here in this hotel and this is right in front of me. So this image conjures up so many things for someone. It could conjure up, oh my gosh, relaxation, I'm stressed, I need to be here. And so how I help a person who is struggling to create and concoct a vision for themselves is I get to the core of what they want to feel. Because that's at the core of a vision, is the things that we want to do, the things that we want to have, the things that we want to be, all are because we think it'll make us feel a certain way. Right. If I wanted this, or if I didn't have a picture of this in my mind, but I said, oh, I so want a vacation. It's a feeling that I think that vacation is going to give me. And it could be a feeling of peace. It could be a feeling of serenity. I may want to reduce my stress. And that is what the person actually wants. It's not the thing. A picture just becomes an anchor or a reminder of that's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm aiming for. But I first get my clients in touch with, what do you want to feel? What emotion do you wish to have right now? And then that's the secret of it, is they don't even have to get the thing that they're aiming for. Goals and trying to attain something down the road is a fun experience, and it's the becoming of who we are when we're after that thing. But really it's, how do I want to feel right now today? And how can I get that feeling right now today?
So tell our listeners a little bit about your vision board workshops that you have.
Yes, absolutely. So it's transitioned to a thing called Visionology. Okay. So that is now my experience in visioning. So I started my coaching business with my vision board workshops because in my study of vision and the power of vision, it was something that I wished to impart on people, because when you understand that visually we create our future, and visually we create our present, then it becomes such a powerful experience. So I love to have people gather for a day-long workshop, and I teach you about vision. I teach you about what I just shared around, it's the emotions that you want to evoke. It's how you want to feel. It's what you want to experience. And then at the end of the experience, you then create a vision board, which is typically just pictures cut out of either a magazine or words and statements that become the anchor to that emotion that you wish to feel and that thing that you want to experience. And I got to tell you, Ivan, it's the most fun thing to hear people come back year after year and say, everything on my board came true. Right. Everything. And even I have my own vision boards. I have one for personal and one for business. And so far, every time I look at that board, every single thing on that thing has come true. I have a picture of Oprah that's been sitting on my vision board for a while. And I was so fortunate out of the blue this past February to go see Oprah live at the Apollo Theater in New York.
Oh, so I saw that on
yeah. So it works. If you put something in your mind, and it also works the opposite way. If I put something in my mind that I'm scared of experiencing, or I hope that my loved ones never get hurt, or, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared. It works in that way as well, where we can actually actualize something that we're envisioning that we don't want to happen. So it's understanding what visionology is understanding the power of vision and knowing how to put it in a way that you're experiencing the greatest things of life versus the things that you're afraid of.
Now, do you have like a, outside of now is the workshop just an in-person workshop, or do you offer like a webinar or online visionary?
Yeah, good. Visionology is right now it's only in person. Okay. But I have plans to create it and make it an online experience, because I have so many people and followers across the globe that would love to experience it. But nothing replaces in-person experiences. So
agreed.
See how that works. Yeah.
Agreed. What's the thing you miss the most about corporate?
The people that I worked with, that's it. And I see them about once a quarter. We still get together, so I don't even miss it that much. But other than that, I don't miss a thing.
You don't miss a thing. I've had that conversation too a couple of times. It's like, I can't picture myself now going back, just because of all the things I've learned having to be on my own, and really take on that that thought process of the whole entire, not just coaching, but entrepreneurship.
It really is a becoming of a different person. I will say I take that back. I do miss my company car. I miss having a car. I don't have to care about the maintenance, the gas, the insurance. That was cool. But you know what? I'll sacrifice that for my own thing.
I hear you. So for coaches, all right, so this question is just for coaches. What a coach that's trying to leave corporate and start their own coaching practice, what would be your best advice? Not your own experience per se, but your best advice as to what they're about to encounter or embark on.
You know, I would say that to enjoy the ride and to not overthink it at all, to serve. It's actually not even just relegated to coaching, it's life, and it's a universal law that you give and then you receive.
Right.
And a lot of times when people are starting businesses, be it coaching businesses or other businesses, they become very self-serving and want to sell. Of course, we want to sell our product and our service. The point of being in business is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
However, my best advice is when you serve over and over and over again from a place of love, it will come back. You can't serve from a place of fear. You can't serve from a place of doubt. It's just, I know how to coach. I coach, so I'm going to coach you and I'm going to serve you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, that is how my business has become what it's become, is because I lead with service. So I would say that's my best advice.
Okay. What are your top 5 values as a businesswoman?
Service,
Mm-hmm.
love,
Mm-hmm.
connection,
Okay.
freedom, and flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay. And I'm assuming flexibility is schedule, work, life, travel.
All of it. The ability to be flexible, the ability to bend and twist and not have to predetermine and stick to that as rigidly as possible, but having the ability to just mold myself. Like, I love to be able to create experiences for people that are flexible. For example, last Friday, I did a VIP coaching intensive day. I spent 5 hours with one person. I got to know her very, very well, and I created a day that was just for her. For example, she is a world famous, I won't say world famous, but she's played professional volleyball, beach volleyball. Okay. So I met her in volleyball gear and we played beach volleyball, okay. But I correlated it to her overcoming her fear of what she wanted to do.
Mm.
And it was a very powerful experience. And I had the flexibility to be able to curate and create that type of day for her because of my values that you just asked me about.
And so from an entrepreneur perspective, right? And I actually have somebody in mind. That's where the question is coming from here. How does your personal values align then with your business values? So are they going to be the same, or are there going to be different values for your person and different values for your business?
Great question. So they actually very much overlap. I would say the only ones I would add to, like, my overall overarching values for life are family, fun, freedom, and flexibility. Mm-hmm. So you can see that I kind of added some other things on there for the coaching piece, but family is paramount. That's everything. And I will drop everything business-wise for my family. So they have to be intertwined. In fact, you mentioned Tony Robbins in our CTR interview, that one thing that he said that I love is there's no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life integration.
Right.
Because if you integrate those important elements of your life, then there's no separation of the two. Like, for example, with him, he's created a business in a world where his wife travels with him. So he's never leaving her to go do his purpose. So for me, I love and live by that same notion that the two are integrated, that I live and conduct my business in such a way that it's my whole person.
Quick question. I know we're about to wrap up because I know you've got a lot of stuff to do and I want to honor your time. I noticed in your values, that you very quickly announced that they all started with F. Yeah. Was that by design so you'll always be able, so it's a simple recall when that question is asked?
No, it just sort of happened that way.
Oh, I guess you've noticed that too.
It has, yeah. Like freedom, fun, flexibility. The only one that does not start with an F is love, but I could start it with F for love. Love. Give me your love.
Or you could say friendship, because friendship is full of love. Friendship is the embodiment of love.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Totally it.
Yeah.
Bridget, again, I cannot thank you enough, not just for what you've done for me and on a personal level. Forget today's show, but just on a personal level. My wife knows all about you. She knows my respect for you. She might even be calling sometime too.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. And I've encouraged her to, but anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for how selfless you are and how compassionate and sincerely and genuinely in connection or in synergy with whoever it is you come in contact with. It's genuine, you can feel it. And I just want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for your input into the world. So we're about to wrap up. So here again, is there anything you'd like to input? Make sure that you tell people how to find you.
Of course. First of all, thank you, Ivan. You have been such a pleasure to meet and to know. And I thank you so much for sharing your heart and for sharing you unafraid and courageously. The work that you're doing, especially around men and vulnerability, will turn this world on its head, and it's something that's so necessary and so needed. So thank you for you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for having me on the show today. It's been such an honor, and I'm blessed to be here. To find me, I am on Instagram and Facebook at Bridget the Go Coach. Bridget spelled BRIDGETTE, the Go Coach, and then my website is bridgetthegocoach.com. And I do have a parting words, and I want to share one of my favorite poems that says so much. It's by Marianne Williamson, who wrote the book, A Course in Miracles. And so here's the quote. Okay. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, you're not to be. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Very well put. Very beautiful. I can resonate with a lot of that. Yeah. So again, I want to thank you, Bridget. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Please, by all means, subscribe to the show. You can find me at ivanhunt.com. You can email me at coach@ivanhunt.com. What else? I got a podcast, this podcast, and I got the audio podcast. And that should be about it that I can think of right off the top of my head. Hey, this is me, Ivan Hunt, the host of Keep It Moving. Peace.
Well, folks, that's it for this week. I'm your host, Chad Baumgartner. I want to give a shout out to my Ourvoice 360 team, Mike Brown, Pete Hunt, Chestnut-Fountain, and Ivan Hunt. As always, thanks for tuning in to Ourvoice 360, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. See you next week.